Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages. And I hope you are ready to join me on this journey of a cautionary tale and just a very interesting topic to go over. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this whole matter, so please do sound off down below and tell me what you would do in this situation, how would you handle it, and all of that. So let's get into it. So in today's video, we'll be talking about a long time content creator, Ethan Klein, who is also known as one part of H3 Productions. The other half is his wife, Hila. I want to start off this video by saying I mean absolutely no hate or malice towards H3 and the whole podcast crew. I am indeed myself a foot soldier, okay? I have been watching H3 for many years, way before they even did the podcast. I have watched practically every episode of the podcast myself. So I'm here with peace and love, genuinely, not the sarcastic peace and love, okay? Papa bless and all of that. I also have a Teddy Fresh jacket. This is literally my most complimented jacket to date. Anytime I wear it, I get people asking me, where's it from? Who's it by? And yeah, it's a Teddy Fresh one. I got it last year. I think it was in the summer. Teddy Fresh, honey. Teddy Fresh. Anyway, I'm not going to wear this throughout the whole of the video because I don't want to look like some kind of simp. I also, many years ago, bought one of their, I think it was like a Grateful Dead inspired t-shirt. I think I wore it in one video many years ago. So yeah, anyway. I'm a big H3 fan. Now, I know a lot of people aren't the biggest of fans when it comes to H3, whether it is their old YouTube content where they used to do skits and comedy videos, and also in the early episodes of their podcast. You know, with peace and love to Ethan, he has had quite a problematic and controversial past. But as a long-time viewer, I do want to congratulate him on his journey to becoming a better person. He has improved a lot over the years, especially the past, year or so. I think we can thank his longtime carer, Ela, for that, and the podcast crew members, especially Dan, who will always call Ethan out on his bullshit anytime he says something wrong. There's also Olivia, who is a massive credit to the podcast. I honestly don't think the podcast would have survived without her. She also is there to save Ethan's ass anytime he says something that he's not very well educated on or whatever, you know? Anyway, this video isn't about H3 lore. This is about tattoos. I do make tattoo related content. So we're just going to move on now. So like I said, I am a very long time viewer of H3 and the H3 podcast. So that means I'm pretty aware of the fact that Ethan and Ela have not always been the biggest of fans of tattoos. It's not like they hate them, but they've always questioned the whole tattoo lifestyle, I guess, especially Ben Affleck's back tattoo. But who can blame him for that one, to be honest with you?
And Ela told me.
I'm shocked. I can't believe this is real.
It's real, baby.
I think this is the worst tattoo I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I mean it.
It's the size that bothers you. It's the colors.
Everything.
It's just way too much.
So let's get on to the subject matter. So sadly, Ethan and Hila's dog Shredder died a few weeks ago, which is incredibly sad and heartbreaking. As many of you may be aware, if you've been watching my content for a while, you'll know I am the biggest dog lover. I love dogs more than anything on this whole entire planet. And when Ethan spoke about losing Shredder, I was honestly a bawling mess. I was crying with him when he was talking about it because Ethan's the kind of person that doesn't show emotions that often, but Ethan truly loved Shredder so damn much, and I can't even imagine that pain of losing a companion that you've had for, you know, a portion of your life. But yeah, I don't want to focus on that too much, just because it is obviously a very sensitive topic. It's still pretty new, and again, we're here for tattoos. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Ethan wanted a tattoo of his dog Shredder. So it started out with him being in contact with one tattoo artist that Ethan never mentioned the name of, and I think we should respect that, to be honest with you. He never mentioned it, so I don't want to go digging and finding out who this tattoo artist is.
I saw it. I'm not going to say who they are, and please don't try to find out, because that's not what this is about, okay?
But the vibe I got from what Ethan was saying is the fact that this tattoo artist that he was first going to get tattooed by was the regular overpriced LA tattoo artist. I'm sure you know the type. Again, there is plenty of them in LA, so it'll be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, to be honest, to find this tattoo artist. Anyway, he said he found the tattoo artist on Instagram and said he really liked what this artist does when it comes to the style of tattoos and all of that. So he got in contact with the artist. Now, the plan was to have this tattoo artist come to the podcast studio and have the tattoo done live on air. Yes. A complete recipe for disaster, if you ask me. I've seen what happens in that podcast studio, okay? That is not a podcast studio that you want to be getting tattooed in, okay? Just trust me on this. Cross-contamination hell, okay? Just no.
On the 27th of this month, Wednesday, Off the Rails, I'll be doing it live on the show. And he says it'll take about 5 hours, so we gotta get
long episode.
We gotta get to it.
Wait, you're trying to do the whole thing in one session?
Yeah.
I actually left a comment on the podcast where Ethan was talking about this, mainly just to help him out. I doubt he ever saw it, to be honest, because of course there are so many people that watch the podcast. It would have got lost in the abyss. But I could see too many red flags and I just wanted to help somehow. But yeah. Day one Fupa Trooper and tattoo content creator and heavily tattooed myself. He was asking in this podcast how much upper arm tattoos hurt, so I said upper arm tattoos aren't too painful in general. Everyone is different, mind you. I highly recommend not getting tattooed anywhere but a tattoo studio. Anywhere but a tattoo studio just isn't clean enough and honestly not worth the risk. Tattoo infections are not fun, and with peace and love, any artist willing to tattoo anywhere but a studio is a major red flag. And then for context, they were talking about numbing cream and having tattoos done under anesthesia. So I said, do not use numbing cream. It's not really worth it. Once it wears off, the pain is 10 times worse. Only used it once after getting my neck tattooed for 3 hours. Most tattoo artists are pretty much against numbing cream also. Anesthetic tattoos are pretty damn dangerous as well. Again, I would avoid them at all costs. Anesthetic tattoos are pretty damn dangerous as well. Again, would avoid at all costs, and it's a massive gimmick. Many doctors and nurses have advised against them. Papa bless. Anyway, the tattoo with the first choice tattoo artist didn't go ahead because the design of the tattoo was... I mean, it looks okay, but the design looks nothing like Ethan's dog Shredder. I mean, sure, it's the same dog breed, but there is absolutely no likeness to Shredder whatsoever. And to me, that is disrespectful as hell. Imagine being asked to do a memorial tattoo and you just run with it and you do whatever you feel like doing and not listening to your client's request. So you're probably wondering, how did that even happen? Well, Ethan communicated very well what he wanted as a tattoo. He did everything right, in my opinion.
I sent him a specific picture that I really love of him that's so sweet on his last day. I talked to him all about it and what I want it to look like.
And then the artist, instead of doing what he was asked to do, decided to send Ethan these AI-generated tattoo designs.
I was so excited to see it. Look at this shit. Random looking Yorkie looks what, and a top hat. Why is he wearing a top hat? Is he attending his own funeral? And what's with the flowers? And then wait, it gets even weirder. A tuxedo. He's a human being. He sent all these and he goes, "How do you like it?" I was trying to be nice. I just said, I was nice. I was nice. I said, I don't like the flowers. Let's just go with the portrait. Also, the dog doesn't look like him. Can we just go with the original photo, please? Right. And then there's these ones. Again, like, I guess it's not my dog, though.
No.
That's not Shredder.
Well, like, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, too. This very obviously is AI generated.
That's the other thing we started to realize.
There is absolutely no other explanation for the designs looking like they do. They look AI generated. It's atrocious and it is so dang lazy. If there is any tattoo artist out there relying on AI to create tattoo designs, then just get out of the tattoo industry. You are being paid to create art. Stop relying on AI to do the job for you. It's beyond lazy. Like I always say in a lot of videos, this isn't what the tattoo industry is about, honey. I could just imagine all of the tattoo artists from the early 1900s rolling in their grave right now. It does not take long to trace a photo and create something. Heck, just do the sketch of it. All the tattoo artist had to do was take the photo that Ethan sent him, put it into Procreate, trace around the outline and details, maybe do a little bit of sketching, you know, add a bit of pizzazz, and then send that as a mock-up design. As someone that has recently got into using Procreate just for fun, I know it doesn't take that long, okay? Like, don't even come at me with that, well, it might have taken some time. No, I mean, it's your job. You're a tattoo artist. Create things, okay? So once Ethan had communicated back to the artist by saying, this isn't what I wanted a photorealism tattoo of my dog. Whose dog is this? Like, what are you giving me here? The tattoo artist then sends back this horrific, lazy, half-arsed mock-up to Ethan.
Yeah, here. So I go, so then he sends me this when I was like, just use the photo, bro. What the fuck?
The artist basically cut out the picture of Shredder, placed it on Ethan's arm where he wanted it to go to start off with, turned it into black and grey, and was like, how about this? Not a sketch, not an outline, it's literally a Photoshop job that I could do. Someone that doesn't use Photoshop much, unless it's to create like a thumbnail or whatever, I could do that in like 5 minutes. Okay, like this tattoo artist was just so incredibly lazy. I dread to think how much he was willing to charge Ethan for doing this tattoo. I mean, it's LA. It was probably a very, like I said, known tattoo artist that had a ton of followers on Instagram and all of that. I can imagine it's thousands and thousands and thousands. So Ethan then said on the 27th of September in a podcast episode that he had been in contact with another tattoo artist to do this tattoo that he wanted. We love a persistent tattoo king. Let me tell you, yes, get it. I'm not sure who reached out to who in this situation. That hasn't actually been clarified. He just said that he's been in contact with an artist.
But I did connect with somebody who I'm feeling pretty confident about.
Yeah.
I talked it over with him, nice guy.
There is a chance that the tattoo artist in question reached out to Ethan and said, hey, I've seen the issue you have been having. I'm a tattoo artist in LA. I can do what you want. And then Ethan saw that this tattoo artist has a huge following and trusted in that and trusted in the work that this tattoo artist has produced in the past. I will say the tattoo artist that has done Ethan's tattoo, it has obviously been done, that's why I'm making this video, is talented. I will always give credit where credit is due, and yeah, if I didn't know anything about the tattoo industry, I probably would have looked at this artist's work and been like, yeah, okay, let's go, let's do it. And of course there is also a chance that Ethan reached out to this tattoo artist himself, who knows. But yeah, we'll get onto the artist in a moment. Anyway, Ethan said that his tattoo will not be done in the podcast studio anymore, it will be done at his home.
And he's going to be coming to my house this weekend on Saturday to do it there in the comfort, security, free of distractions, and get the job done.
Which, I mean, it's probably much better, cleaner and safer than a podcast studio, you know, but it's still just a little bit iffy to me, you know. If a tattoo artist is willing to tattoo someone in their home, it always makes me think, what else are they willing to do? What corners are they willing to cut? You know, it's just, you know, nobody's house is up to tattoo studio code. And this whole thing has always baffled me. I think it's mainly because I am very much into the tattoo industry, tattoo culture and all of that. So I have like a lot of respect for it. And maybe the everyday person doesn't even think about these things. But to me, no matter how much money I had, no matter how famous I was, even if I was Taylor Swift, okay, I would still be getting tattooed in a studio. Mainly to just minimize the risk of infections or anything going wrong. It just feels like a much safer environment to me. Tattoo artists are essentially dealing with medical grade equipment. They're dealing with needles, bodily fluids, the risk of cross-contamination, bloodborne pathogens, the list is endless. And you know, does this tattoo artist travel with a sharps box to dispose of the needles correctly? Do they also travel with their own bin to get rid of anything that has been in contact with their client's bodily fluids, for example, blood, plasma, etc. Of course, it's possible that the artist does travel with these things, but it's also very possible that they don't. But either way, trust me, you don't want to be putting bodily fluid contaminated needles in a regular old bin. You don't want to be putting tattoo tissue paper in a regular bin. It's incredibly dangerous for everyone involved. Anyway, the tattoo went ahead on September 30th.
No top hat.
Scoot towards me. Yeah.
No tuxedo. That's my beautiful boy. That's just Shredder, you know.
It looks just like him.
And Ethan said it took about 5 to 6 hours to do.
I got the tattoo Saturday night. It was like 5 or 6 hours, by the way. And we did not use lidocaine. Actually, it didn't hurt that bad. It wasn't that bad.
And truly and honestly, it is a beautiful tattoo. It does capture Shredder's likeness from the photo so dang well. And I'm very happy that Ethan has got the tattoo he wanted and deserves. You know, it's a beautiful memorial piece, and I'm so glad also that the tattoo is a decent size. If it was any smaller, as we may know, if there's a lot of tiny details in a tiny tattoo, over time when the tattoo ages and the skin ages, details end up not looking so legible. So the bigger a high detail tattoo is, the better, and I feel like Ethan's tattoo is a reasonable size for that. Now, here's where things get spicy, sadly. So red flag number one for me when it comes to this tattoo artist is the fact that on Monday's episode, Ethan was talking to the crew and the audience about his new tattoo, and he was asking pretty much like, how do I look after this?
Afterwards, he put this really cool plastic thing. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It wasn't saran wrap. It's like it's almost like a condom. So I took it off this morning. I washed it. I put some light moisturizer on it. The sun is on my tattoo, and everyone says don't let the sun hit your tattoo, right? So in my car, I have a moisturizer with sunscreen. So I put that over it. And then I was like, wait, can I put sunscreen on it? Like, obviously I can, right? But let me just make sure. So I says, can I put sunscreen on my fresh tattoo? No, that's the worst thing you can do. It's going to smudge the ink. It's going to pull it out. It's going to, and I was like, oh, fuck. So I pulled over. So I take all the sunscreen off, hopefully. And then Olivia gave me Lido, the nipple stuff.
Lanolin. That's what I always use for mine. And it's also what I use for super chapped lips. It's amazing.
And so I don't know. Then I put that all over it, and then I Googled that, and they're like, don't put Lidolin on it. It will fuck up it will tear the ink out. And I don't fucking know, dude. I guess there's just so many damn opinions. But now I'm all paranoid. Did I ruin it? Everyone's saying Aquaphor. Everyone says, people say dry, and then people are screaming, don't dry. Don't try heal.
In case anyone here needs some tattoo help, the only products that I would personally recommend to use when it comes to tattoo healing is the likes of Hustle Butter, Butterlux, and Yayo. They are specifically made for tattooed skin, so yeah, that's all I would trust, to be honest. And then obviously you have Second Skin, which is what Ethan was talking about, the condom-like thing. So to me, one of the things that makes a tattoo artist a good tattoo artist is one that cares about their clients. The tattoo artist that did Ethan's tattoo should have thoroughly gone through tattoo aftercare with Ethan. Should have mentioned the things you should and shouldn't be using, how to clean it, how long the healing process takes. There is a lot to looking after a tattoo, and not everybody knows about this. Again, I don't know if I've said, but this is Ethan's first tattoo, so he's not going to know much about anything with peace and love. You know, a tattoo artist should go through the aftercare with you, no matter what. Well, unless you are as tattooed as me, and then a lot of tattoo artists will say to me, well, you know what to do, because it's very obvious I have looked after a few tattoos in my time. But when someone's got no tattoos or just a small handful, I feel like any tattoo artist should go through aftercare with them. And also each tattoo artist likes you to look after their tattoos in a specific type of way. You know, healing a tattoo and looking after a brand new tattoo is detrimental to the final result. If you don't look after it correctly, your tattoo is gonna look like garbage. Anyway, moving on from that, the second red flag for me is who the tattoo artist is. Now, I haven't mentioned them by name yet, and I want to try and deal with this as delicately as possible because I really don't want to tarnish such a beautiful, meaningful tattoo. And again, it is a nice tattoo. There is nothing wrong with it. It's just who the artist is. But yeah, this is pretty much a cautionary tale as to doing research into your tattoo artist. So the artist that did Ethan's tattoo is Daniel Silver. Ethan did mention this in an Instagram story, so I haven't done any digging. It was literally there in front of me kind of vibe. So it's not a secret as to who the artist is. Now, some of you may be aware of Daniel Silver just from his tattoo work, maybe from the fact that he's tattooed quite a few celebrities and influencers over the years, maybe for the fact that he was once associated with Romeo Lacoste. I don't need to go into who Romeo Lacoste is. I'm sure we're all aware, but Romeo himself is just not a great person. Or maybe you know Daniel because he was on season 10 of Ink Master, or maybe because of the fact that Daniel killed his friend, another YouTuber by the name of Corey LaBarry, while drink driving, and he also tried to flee the scene and only got sentenced to a year in prison. He has done prison time. This was in 2020. So CNN reported on this, and it said YouTube star Corey LaBarry died on his 25th birthday after being involved in a car crash with a drunk driver, a lawyer for the LaBarry family confirmed. Right now, I can tell you that the family is in absolute shell shock. Michael Kraut, one of the two attorneys for the LaBarry family, told CNN in a phone interview on Tuesday. His family over in Australia are on their way here to deal with the burial and grieve. The Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner coroner told CNN the crash occurred at the corner of Houston Street and Carpenter Avenue in North Hollywood around 9:39 p.m. local time. The Los Angeles Police Department would not confirm the identity of the driver, but issued a separate news release regarding the arrest of Daniel Joseph Silva, 27, for murder after a DUI fatal traffic collision at the same time and location. Kraut also identified Silva, who he described as LaBarry's close friend, as the driver. He called the incident beyond reckless and said that Silva should be held fully accountable in the legal system for his actions. Silva, a popular tattoo artist in the TV series Ink Master, was I've never seen that word in my whole entire life, to be honest with you. Anyway, driving a 2020 McLaren 600 LT at a high rate of speed when he lost control. Silva then ran off the road and collided with a stop sign and a tree, police said. He allegedly exited the vehicle and attempted to leave the scene, but was stopped by passerby who came to help, according to the police. LaBarry's brother, Jared LaBarry, and mother Lisa Harrison Burton did not respond to CNN's request for comment. However, the two both posted about their loss on Instagram. My brother Corey passed away last night in a car accident with his drunk friend driving, Jared LaBarry wrote in his post on Monday. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this without you. Life's never going to be the same without you. Rest in peace. He was very drunk and got into a car with a drunk driver. The accident killed him instantly, Lisa Harrison Burton wrote. It just feels so unreal and I'm overwhelmed with grief. I love you so much, Corey. I'm too much of an empath for this. Like, that is just 25th birthday. It's just so sad. Like, there's no words other than it's just so sad. Anyway, LAPD officials said that after the accident, the Los Angeles Fire Department responded and took both the driver, Silva, and a passenger to hospital, where the passenger, a 25-year-old male, died. While the police did not confirm the identity of the passenger in Silva's car, they said they are waiting until next of kin is notified. LAPD spokesman Tony Im told CNN there was only one crash at that location. We did not have multiple accidents at the scene. Silva is being held on a $200,000 bond, according to Los Angeles County Jail records. A representative for Silva via the show Ink Master did not return CNN's request for comment, and CNN was unable to determine if he had a lawyer. And then on CBS it says, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney Office, the 27-year-old North Hollywood man was sentenced to 364 days in jail, 5 years of formal probation, 250 hours of community service, and a suspended prison sentence of 4 years, which can be imposed if Silva violates the terms of his probation. Oh. Anyway, Daniel then, in a now deleted YouTube video, went on to do the regular influencer apology. It was incredibly cold. It was almost robotic, like the majority of apology videos, to be honest with you. But yeah, there was no real emotion or empathy, more of a, I'm trying to save my own life here, you know, please don't hate me for what I've done kind of vibe. I'm sure you know the vibe, right?
I want to start off by saying how sorry I am for all the pain that everybody's going through. He's not only a friend of me, but he's a loving son, a brother, and he was always great at making people feel welcome. I'll never forget how much that meant to me, and I'll think about him every single day for the rest of my life.
There's also this clip of him saying that Corey, the person that he killed, would want him to be an advocate for safe driving.
I believe Corey would want me to be a positive advocate for safe driving. I feel that I've learned a lot and how dangerous driving can be, and I really just would like to move forward and be an advocate for stuff like that.
Are you kidding me right now? The absolute audacity to do such a thing. How dare you speak for someone that you killed while being so incredibly reckless? The disrespect to Corey and his family. Like, there's only a handful of things that makes me so incredibly angry, and drink driving is one of them. It's disgusting in my opinion. There is absolutely no excuse ever to do such a thing. Get an Uber, get a taxi, get a hotel, walk home, crawl home, run home, sleep in a tree. I do not care. Do not get behind a wheel when you have had an alcoholic drink, especially a sports car with that much power. Are you kidding me? Not only are you endangering your life, you're endangering the passenger's life, like we've seen. You are also endangering people that are on the road also. Other cars, pedestrians, cyclists, whatever. It is never, ever, ever worth it to drink drive. It's so incredibly selfish. Anyway, with the fact that Daniel deleted his apology video, I fully believe that he has tried to run from his past. He's tried to move on from it and hope that nobody ever mentions it or brings it up ever again. Well, guess what, buddy? You don't get to do that. Not today. Hold yourself accountable, you absolute coward. It's only been 3 years since this has happened. Okay? 3 years. That's a short amount of time when there are family members and friends grieving. Trust me, life goes incredibly quick when you are going through grief. The fact that he is now still swanning about tattooing celebrities, making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, because again, when you tattoo celebrities, you make a ton of money, especially in LA. I don't even know what to say in this situation, because what does Daniel do? You know, crawl up in a hole and hide for the rest of his life, or does he carry on? I think the way he went about it and still goes about it to this day is the answer to our problem right here. It's evident that Daniel really doesn't care. His social media is just full of tattoos, celebrities that he's tattooed or influencers, travel photos. There is not an inkling of Corey anywhere. If I was Daniel in this situation, and I want to stress, you would never catch me drink driving, ever, 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 because nope. I mean, I don't even have a license. Not because I've lost it, because I've never had one. But still, even if I had a license, even if I drank quite a lot, you would never catch me drink driving. But for argument's sake, say I was stupid and did what Daniel did. I would be doing everything in my goddamn power to make this right. I wouldn't have it swept under the rug. I would be posting about it. I would be trying to honour his memory. I would be doing charity work, you know, charity tattoo flash days, giving back to families that have lost loved ones in incidents, you know, like Corey and Daniel. And I'm also not saying that Daniel obviously needs to post about it every single day. Absolutely not. But come on, there is not any remnants of this anywhere. His Instagram is squeaky dang clean, as if it never ever happened. So there is a gap of about 2-ish years on Daniel's Instagram. The first post after this gap is this one. It's a photo of a tiger tattoo, and Daniel says, "I've been tattooing a lot, just not posting for the past few months. But now I'm back and feeling more grateful of live," I think it means life, "than ever before." Are you kidding me with this? You have killed a person, okay? A young person at that had the whole life ahead of them. And you want to say, "I'm so grateful of life." Read the room. It's so, I can't believe this. When I read this, I was like, I totally understand, you know, being grateful for being alive, especially if you've been through a pretty horrific car crash, you've been to prison, you know, you've been through some things yourself. But read the fucking room. Imagine if you are one of Corey's family members and you read that. I would be so angry. I'd be like, just get off the internet. Just go, leave. But yeah, his lack of respect and, you know, the trying to hide from what's happened, this just leads me down the path of he does not care at all. Anyway, back to H3. I want to stress that there is a possibility that H3/Ethan had absolutely no idea of this. Again, Ethan has never really been in the tattoo scene. There's a chance that he never saw this. I don't remember him ever covering the story on the podcast, but there has been many, many episodes and my memory is pretty bad. So there's a chance he may have mentioned this. I don't know. But it was a pretty big story on the internet when this happened. I do want to have in good faith that Ethan didn't know about this, even though my man's Ethan has had a problematic past. I truly don't think he would support such a person, you know, if he was aware of the whole thing, especially as he has cussed people out on his podcast over the years for doing much, much less. I just hope that he wasn't aware, you know. Not everyone spends their whole life looking at tattoo stuff, you know, especially if they don't make tattoo content, so oh, I don't know. There have been a few people on Twitter mention their disappointment towards Ethan for going ahead and being tattooed by Daniel, which honestly I do understand. It looks absolutely beautiful, but I fear Ethan and the crew are about to learn about what Daniel Silver has done. I'm so disappointed in Ethan Klein getting his tattoo done by Daniel Silver. Not Ethan Klein's tattoo artist being Daniel Silver. Not Daniel Silver. Yikes, gotta do research on people before getting their art on your body, Ethan. And then on this post on the podcast Instagram, a lot of people are talking about it there. He got his tattoo from a hella controversial dude. If I remember correctly, he was driving drunk and killed someone. Went to jail, now he's tattooing again. Looks great, but I hate that Daniel Silver did it. Rest in peace, Corey. You're going to talk about the murderer who did the tattoo though. You get the point. There's a lot of comments like this. Again, I think this is such a cautionary tale to do your research into who is going to be your tattoo artist. Sure, nobody is perfect. Everybody has a past, but it's how these people handle their past is the key factor, you know? If people try to hide from it, red flag, you know? And I know this kind of thing may not be important to a lot of people, but I also know that it's important to a lot of people also. The H3 podcast has a huge audience, okay? Massive. And with that comes people now potentially wanting to be tattooed by Daniel because they'll see this great tattoo that Ethan has. But this happens all the time. It happens to me also. You know, even little old me. I've had a few tattoo artists mention to me that they have had people that watch my videos go to them because I've mentioned them. And then some of you have gone and got tattooed by these tattoo artists, which honestly I think is great. I absolutely love that. Again, I do a lot of research into who I get tattooed by, so I hope that you can trust me with that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see if Ethan ever mentions this, because again, I know people have been trying to tell him that Daniel is not a good person, but the tattoo's done now, I guess, so what can be done about it? I don't know. And it's a meaningful tattoo as well, so again, want to tread lightly with this one, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Thank you for being here, and until my next video, bye.